fix the infrastructure that's essential for a world-class city as we continue to prepare for and continue to host all of the major events that we have. So again, I want to thank the council members for their support. I want to thank Cedric Grant, our Deputy Mayor for Infrastructure, and Colonel Jernigan, and our contractors for putting this together, and I look forward to them getting to work. So with that, I'd like to call Deputy Mayor Grant, and then we'll have the council members and we'll answer a couple of questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As the Mayor indicated to you, the challenges that we face here with the streetlight system is it's a very old system. It's about 45 to 50 years old. It was damaged in Katrina and Gustav and Ike, and parts of it continue to deteriorate. It's a very expensive system based on 20 different types of streetlight fixtures, 10 types of poles, 6 types of lamps, 15 types of bulbs. It's a hodgepodge of everything. And as the Mayor indicated to you, none of them are simple anymore. There's very little just changing the bulbs. These gentlemen behind me that do the work, they have to go to the pole and determine what the repair is, and that can be anything from $2,000 to $20,000 a pole. And it can add up very quickly. And as the Mayor indicated, as of the end of March, we're about 6,000 to 10,000 outages. We continue to have more every week. We think the plan that we put in place is very aggressive, and we'll get after this program and get us the ability to put all these lights on this year. The program is going to continue to be managed in the way that we have, which is with the 2 contractors. I'll start doing the maintenance work, and Royal doing oversight and management and quality control and assurance, and having the patrols out on a nightly basis checking all of the work. This has been a very good partnership. It's worked very well. We've gotten a lot of work done, as the Mayor's indicated to you, and we think that this and the additional bids that we'll put out for additional streetlight contractors will allow us to accomplish the goal that we set here, to put all lights on by the end of 2012.
Great, thank you. Council members.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Administration, Deputy Mayor Grant, and North Star, is that the name of the company? North Star. All-Star. Royal Engineering, okay. Thank you so much for a yeoman's job of getting to this point where the Mayor promised us that he would not just put a Band-Aid and every time there was a street light out, fix it, until he could find a solution to do the whole city, and he did. And we were very patient with him, although it was hard. The #1 complaint has been across the City Council, streetlights, and for quality of life. But more importantly, the crime issue, which I think is critically important. And you've kept to your word even sooner than we expected, and sooner than I expected, knowing the whole city. And for everyone to understand, there are parts of this city that didn't even have water that have had streetlights problems, like the West Bank, Algiers, which had wind problems. So there was no part of this city untouched. He literally has every inch of the city to cover in redoing this wiring and redoing some of these poles and taking on this massive effort. So on behalf of the entire council, especially some who are in Baton Rouge and others who are out in the community, or they'd be with us today, thank you, and thank you all for working as a team.
Councilmember Johnson is going to handle this ordinance on behalf of the city administration. I want to thank him for that and ask him to make comments.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I just want to add my thank you to your administration and to Deputy Mayor Grant, of whom I've had an opportunity to work with and talk about this issue for a number of weeks now. This certainly has become the #1 issue in my district, and just talking to my colleagues, the #1 issue in all of the districts around the city. And this administration is to be commended for taking the initiative to do some bold things here. I think when you go out and find the amount of money that has been found in order to do this project, one can clearly say that they did it, and did it with style, and did it very, very quickly. My district, as you know, was the district that was most heavily hit in Katrina, and quite frankly and quite honestly, in some parts of the district, it's like a rural area. There's no lighting. People have altered their schedules. People have talked about the different problems that they have with seeing wild animals and as you know, in New Orleans East, we have coyotes and just a multitude of problems that can really be aggravated by not having street lights on in that part of the city. So this is something that is desperately needed for safety purposes and for the quality of life that people want to enjoy in and around the city of New Orleans. So I really, really appreciate the opportunity to work with the administration and to bring this project online, because it is something that is so desperately needed throughout the city, but specifically in those areas that were very hard hit by Katrina. Mr. Mayor and Mr. Deputy Mayor, I also want to add this. I'm going to ask the residents and the people to work with us, to work with this administration and the City Council when we get these lights back online and we get the poles back up and running. We've had a problem, quite honestly, with theft, where in some cases individuals have gone in and stolen copper and have created more problems than we should be confronted with at this time. In those areas where you don't have a large population or a lot of people back, please work with us to make sure that when we go in and bring the lights on this time around, that you don't go in and vandalize or steal the copper or do anything that's going to be injurious to us lighting up the city, because this is something that is desperately needed in this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you. Next crime, the complaints about streetlight outages are the #1 complaint that we have in the City Council offices. And I believe that what's happening today is a shining example of this administration and this council listening to our constituents, feeling their pain, and doing everything we can to answer their complaints and to respond to them and bring them what they want and what they need. I know that everyone in this city is looking forward to seeing the light at the end of this tunnel. And I want to thank Royal Engineering and All-Star for sticking in there with everything that's all the bumps along the road here that we've had with trying to get the street lights on. And I think that I'd like to give a message to your bigger and better crews, that they should know that the people of this city love them. They don't know them, but they love them for what they're doing. And thanks to the administration for the work you've done to make this happen.